Well, this week I'm going to dive into a set of wheels that have been kind of problematic. You know, if you've been following along here too long, you know that I'm not doing a lot of wheels anymore, but occasionally a set of wheels will show up that have just been kind of a problem. So this set of wheels has already been rebuilt by somebody. Now, when they came back to the owner, they were all painted with this white, kind of a whitewash, not really a primer. But he was suspicious that, what's this guy trying to hide from me? Well, they sat a little while, and pretty soon the joints on the fellies, they were moving and weren't lined up anymore. Tires were getting loose and the wheels were starting to move. So he gave me a call and said, hey, would you look at these wheels? Well, I was in the middle of rebuilding this two-seat buggy, and I said, I can't get to it right now, but when I get done, I'll look at them. So he brought them over, and now I'm done with that buggy. So I'm going to get into these wheels and kind of see what the problem is, what's inside that's just not quite right. Well, these wheels really are quite a heavy set of wheels. They have some real heavy axles on them, and I guess they belong to some type of a dray wagon, possibly a type of a brewery wagon that has been made popular by the Clydesdale Budweiser hitch. Might be a little different box style, but it's that size of a wagon. So let's examine these wheels a little closer and just see what we got. Well, this first rear wheel, you can see where the fellows have shifted side to side and they're not centered on the tire anymore. Just shows how loose this tire has become, even as it is just set. Well, you can see where some of the fellows have been replaced, and there's some old ones still that are left as originals. But what shows up here is where the new fellows have been. There's also been some new spokes, and the spoke tenons have been cut way too short. They don't come out to the edge of the fellow like they should. So even as I knock the first fellow off, you can see how short these spoke tenons are. Now, compared to this original fellow, you can see the heavy spokes and the full-length spoke tenons on the original spokes. These last two fellows, they are still locked together by a cross pin at the fellow joint. Now, if you've watched me, you've seen that typically I put a spline on these joints. But this is another approach of locking these joints together, and this is what a cross pin set in at 45 degrees. So these fellows that have had the short spoke tenons on them, you can see all the pressure is on the shoulder of the spoke to the fellow and how they compress deeply into the fellows themselves. Now the second rear wheel, you can see where they put tire bolts right through each joint. Well, if there was a case that there was any type of a spline or a cross pin, this bolt would automatically cut that in half. So it's really pretty counterintuitive. So to get this wheel apart, I need to pull these bolts so I can get the tires off. Well, this tire also is pretty loose, and I can just knock it off without having to cut the tire, just because they have loosened up so much. So this wheel also has had some new spokes put in and some new fellows, but these tenons were cut full length. The problem is they were cut too small, so as they fit into the fellow, they're real sloppy. Well, after I got the tire off of this first front wheel, you can see that there's a number of new spokes put in here and also new fellows. And the spokes aren't quite as short, but they still don't come out to the face of the rim where it should. And you can see where they used to have splines in them, but they all have been cut, and so they're basically useless. But for the most part, all of these spoke tenons are also too short. Well, this last front wheel shows a combination of old spokes and O fellows with a few replacement, but they have put a lot of shims in these old spokes and not in the center of the spoke tenon where they should, but they've jammed them in off of one side just trying to hold these together. They actually have a fair bit of rod in them, and it should have been replaced. Now, one thing I noticed on one front wheel was that the depth of the fellow was quite a bit narrower than the depth of the fellow on the first front wheel I took apart. You've got one just at shy 2 inches and the other is at 2 3/8. So as I got into these wheels, you can see we really did open up a can of worms. And I did talk to the owner, and bottom line is I think we're just going to use the hubs and go from there. You can see I've got all the spokes and the fellies taken out of the hubs. I'm going to run the hubs through the sandblaster, all the flanges, and look at these hubs a little closer also. So while I've got these flanges all sandblasted, just to keep them from rusting, I'm going to run them through the paint room and put some black paint on them. And one thing that shows up pretty quickly is that these hubs are all different. We have one hub that stands 13 1/4, at 12 1/2, 12 1/2, and 12 inches. So with the different heights, they're also different diameters. Now generally it's pretty common that front and back axles would be the same. But in this case we have two different size axles. We have one that's 2 1/4 and one that is 2 inch. So the spindle sizes are also different lengths. The spindle length on the back axle is 11 inches and the spindle length on the front axle is 10 inches. So the hubs on these, the center two here as I have them lined up on the table, are actually both 12 1/2 inches. However, one goes to a rear axle because the boxing length on it is 11 inches and the boxing length on this other one is 10 inches. Even though the outside hub height is the same for both. So the rear axle wheels actually have two different size hubs, but the boxing lengths are the same. The front axle wheels have two different size hubs, but the boxings are the same. 12, 12 1/2, 12 1/2, and 13. So we also end up having different flange sizes. We're going to have two different flange sizes on the back two wheels. And on the front wheels, we're also going to have two different flange sizes. Although one hub for the back wheel and one hub for the front wheel will actually be similar flange sizes, but the boxing lengths will be different. So you never really know the history behind some of these wagons, what has happened through their lifetime. It's not uncommon that they go through a wreck and different combinations are put together over different times. So somewhere the back two wheels, although the boxings are the same, the hubs were changed, the wheels were changed. Similar here, you know, so it's very possible that these two were original and these two were not, but it's really difficult to know that for sure. The case is, this is what we have to work with. So I'm going to try these boxings and see how they fit on the spindles of the axles themselves. So this is the small hub of one front wheel on the front axle, and it really fits pretty well. I'm going to see how the other front hub that has a 10-inch boxing in it also fits. So this boxing doesn't fit well at all. So I'm guessing maybe this was a transplant. It's really difficult to know, but it doesn't fit anything like the other hub did. So this is the smaller of the two hubs for the rear axle. And it doesn't fit too well either. You can see it's got a lot of play to it. This doesn't fit well at all. Although the length is right, the taper does not fit well. I'll try the other one. So this is the largest hub for the core. And it doesn't fit well at all either. So out of these four, we have one hub that actually fits. This is the hub for the front axle. It fits well. The second one does not, and neither one of the hubs for the rear wheels fit well either. So with this kind of really poor fitment, you have to kind of wonder whether it's worth to go to all the expense to put wheels on these hubs when they don't fit the axles well at all. So what we did visit about the owner and myself, if they don't fit well and we have one out of four that fits nicely, now is maybe the time that we take and we convert these axles over to roller bearing. We put roller bearing boxings in these hub cores and actually upgrade these wheels now. If we're going to put this kind of money into the wheels to fix them, we need to have them fit the axles correctly also. So that's probably going to be the route we're going to take. This video is just to help even the owner see for himself how these wheels are and how they fit or how poorly they fit. So anyway, this is a process of evaluating what we're going to do, and I guess we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.